Doshiteru Yokoso YouTube, and welcome to this clan competition 2v2 battle. Today I'm playing with my good friend Achillean, or Mixor, and we are playing against Katsumoto Breeze and Siren M-Gun 92N. This is the Numizawa map, and we have played these guys before. Well, not us, but the Matsuda family had a replay with us playing them at sea. They had an extra opponent. They had an extra ally who wasn't on their clan, so they might have had some communication problems. But now we randomly made a match-made battle, me and Nixor, trying to get points in the season, as you saw, and we didn't really have anything, and we got paired up against them. And a little bit of information here: Katsumoto was actually, at the time of this battle, he was standing at number 1 in the Shogun ranking. So this is, you know, the top tier player. We are in tier 1, group 1, so this is pretty much as good as you can probably expect people to get, at least people in our own group, that is. But yeah, and his ally at the time was the 6th in the Shogun rank, so I wasn't even level 10. So what was on our mind was that we had to play very cautiously, and we had to play at the same time, be aggressive and take the initiative. But you'll see how this battle turns out. I think it was a great battle nonetheless. Starting out with our opponent's armies today, Siren has brought a full matchlock army. Now I know some of you may be like, wow, these guys are just spamming, you know, spamming matchlocks, but this is actually a common tactic. Bringing one type of unit in these high-ranked 2v2 battles. This means that his ally is not really going to need any sort of skirmishing contingent here, because these guys are going to be able to skirmish on several levels. So before you, you know, quickly judge these guys, be sure to consider the fact that any tactic is really valid, and this abundance of matchlock samurai does have its disadvantages, so it really depends on how you use it. So that's the first army. We don't know what the other player's army is. We just see some katana cavalry with some great guard. You can see here a unit of Great Guard and a unit of Katana Cav, supported by a Naginata Warrior Monk Cavalry. And I think this is the first time that you guys will see these guys in my battles. No, you saw them twice before in the battles, in the single battles, if you have seen them. But you can go through the annotations to follow them. These guys are great units. They can beat the Yari Cav one-on-one, and they're cheaper than Yari Cav, but their only disadvantage is that their charge bonus is less. So they won't really be doing as much charge, you know, when you do things like hammer and anvils and charging into static enemy formations. Moving on to our forces, Nixor has brought a very potent force. He's got 3 units of matchlock warrior monks, and he's got range on all of his skirmish units. So his skirmishing is absolutely fantastic. He kites excellently, he judges range excellently, and his responses are great. So he was definitely an asset in this battle. He has 2 units of bow warrior monks supporting his front line of matchlock warrior monks. Back here, he's got a Naginata Samurai sitting at 7 experience chevrons, supported by a Katana Samurai, also 7 experience chevrons, and then he has some Yari Eshigaru and some more Katana Samurai. And up come my own forces. My forces are composed of, I think, 3 units of matchlock warrior monks, and I haven't really been using these guys much, but since the patch came out, I got the retainer drop, which I talked to you guys about in the introduction video, and I've been trying to use more of these. Anyway, more Naginata warrior monks here. Bring these guys as the solid backbone, really. Using Warcry with the aid of my other matchlock, my other monk units, makes these guys formidable. Here they are. I've got two of them, and I think here at the front somewhere. Where did they go? There they are. The real meat of my army, the ladies of the Matsuda, the warrior nuns. You can see that I've brought several of them. One of them is a veteran with 1 experience chevron. I don't know why it's saying... Why, this is weird. This isn't... Warrior nuns. Yeah, my warrior nuns have 1 experience chevrons. What's his name's? Nixor's forces have 7 experience chevrons. And here is Matsuda Kagemaru. You can see that his appearance has changed. It's different here than the battles previously because I did change the color scheme, and this applies. For some reason, when you do a replay, it takes your current skin and your old colors. So let's keep that in mind. So you can see that in terms of skirmishing potential, we have 5 units of bows, and our own matchlock can outshoot most of their matchlock. They've got 1 matchlock warrior monk, 2 matchlock warrior monks. I think they just have 4 of them. Indeed, they only have 4 matchlock warrior monks to our 5. So we've got them outranged in the skirmish fight. So that's a good thing. Initially, we were cautious. We were I wouldn't say afraid, but we were worried as to whether we would want to advance now, because we completely didn't know the other player's army. So we decided to wait on the 7 samurai guys to make their own move, and you can see that they're going to move out here and try to guard this crossing over here. There are 2 crossings here, and these points are essential in the map. Usually when there are key buildings, these points are more important, but now these hills make excellent defensive positions. And at this point, I was like, you know, Nixor, let's go ahead and move our main forces to this area over here, and I'll try to sneak my cav around. As these matchlocks turn around to face you, I'll just whack them from the side and prevent them from even shooting at me. I was trying to do that, but then here I was sneaking one of my units, and they walked out of the forest and got exposed. Be sure when you're walking your units into the trees that their formation is thinner than the tree's width. So here, if it's a large formation, they're going to bulge out and your opponent's going to be able to see them. So you can see here, Nixor's cavalry is composed of a lot of Great Guard, and his Great Guard are formidable, and his melee general can take on a lot of units by itself. So he's got a cavalry superiority when compared to these 3 units over here that are now attempting to do a charge. Nixor is pulling back to support his main lines, and at this time I think we will decide to engage with the 7 samurai forces. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Here we are again. So you can see that the 7 samurai cavalry are moving into the trees here, trying to get a secure position. At the same time, I now spring out my hidden unit of Naginata warrior monk cavalry. I've got 3 of those. I figured that 1 wasn't enough, and I didn't want to outstretch our reach, and you can see here that Nixor has started to send his troops out in order to get some damage towards the 7 samurai matchlock contingent. At this point, me and Nixor both agreed that it was time for us to try to trap those scabs. So you can see here that I'm bringing my units in the trees here. This is just an act of caution. I want to position my matchlocks close, because when they charge here, I wanted Nixor to move around and trap them, so that even if they do try to retreat, he'll trap them and then I'll catch them. But the 7 samurai players are way too experienced for that. They knew what we were trying to do, and they instantly pulled their forces out. Nixor tries to run a chase, but he's going to stop that here, and you can see the remainder of the 7 samurai forces emerge. 9 vetted samurai katanas, and these guys are just absolutely decimating to really anything that they face. Pretty much the top-notch sort of infantry you expect to get. And they've got Naginata warrior monk support, so this is a very tough infantry contingent. However, they are a little bit down on the numerous side, but then again, I don't really have much to answer to that in terms of the infantry department, and neither does Nixor. And now more units are being exposed. More Naginata warrior monks, 3 more of them with high experience chevrons, and you can see now Great Guards with a general's bodyguard and another Naginata warrior monk and another Great Guard poking out of the forests. And now you can see over here that more hidden units are going to appear from the trees, and this is where the action is going to start. Nixor charging in his cavalry against this contingent. They should be fine. He's also pulling his guys back, and you can see here that I am going to be taking shots into the sides of these guys and also absorbing them with my Naginata cavalry. And you can see that my Naginata cavalry is actually, you'd expect them to be doing much worse, but they're holding off quite well, and that's exactly what I needed them for here, just to hold off for a little bit, for my warrior nuns to come into the picture and start doing their thing. And they're going to ride here towards these units, and I want these guys to come closer to my line, because things like this will happen, where they get absolutely mowed down. Down to 17 men. They're going to charge here, but my guys are on guard mode, so they're going to be firing. And you can see that my arrows are basically pummeling these guys. There's my general. I had him here in the area just for the morale support, and I do rally my troops here. I need them to survive as long as I can. Nixor's cavalry is having a walk in the park, pretty much decimating the other opponent's cavalry. You can see here a charge also at Nixor's forces, These 7 samurai players know that our skirmishing contingent is superior, they know that they are losing the cavalry fight, and they know that they need to weaken us in any form. But see, at this time their main force is way too separated from them, so they won't really be able to get there in time. If they were a little bit closer and started taking shots at us in this formation, we would have been screwed here. But you can see here that this unit of Grade Guard was indeed attacking my troops. I am sort of disarrayed, but my general's still alive, and my warrior nuns, down to 35 men, managed to actually destroy all those cav. So with the arrow and matchlock support, of course. And you can see here that there is still a unit of Grade Guard in the midst of the troops of Nigzor, but he's got spears and cavalry around them, so they're not really a threat. And now the sort of a smart part of the battle is going to begin. You can see here these troops are actually mine, my Boer monks. I sent them here on the side because I needed, I was just waiting for the 7 samurai players to cross a position here, but it looks like they're actually trying to push towards us here, push us back and away from this hill. We're actually going to let them push us away from the hill, but we're going to start kiting, and we're going to provide some nice cover fire for each other here. You can see that they've completed the crossings in terms of their matchlock department. Their infantry is still lagging behind, and now me and Nigzor are just trying to rearrange our troops really quickly to just take that charge nicely. If you take a look at the units, my matchlock have gone down considerably. My warrior nuns are pretty much still intact. My bows are still intact. The same goes for Nigzor. His matchlock monks got hurt, and his bows are still alive. He's going to run his bows close here and going to start taking shots at the opponent's forces. And you can see that the opponent's forces, there's an Inspire that's been activated at this matchlock warrior monk. They are being shot, and you can see they've got Inspire and the fire shooting range. And let's see if Nigzor is going to respond to that. You can see that he is taking fire from several units here, several matchlock units moving forward. Now my bows are going to be in place, and they're going to open fire at his troops, giving the time for Nigzor to withdraw. And that is what we're going to be doing for each other. We're going to be supporting each other, covering each other's retreats, all the meanwhile while I have my infantry close to my bows to prevent any sort of infantry engagement from the right flank. So I'm continuing to fire here, and I'm going to take some volleys, and I'm going to run back again. And we're going to keep doing this. This is called kiting. If you don't know what kiting is, this is it. Basically using your range and running back, turning around and shooting off at your opponent while they approach. And now the only good thing really about this is that matchlock units need to reload, which means that after they shoot, we get a short period of time to run back and rearrange my men and wait for them to run forward and do this kind of stuff where you're going to take shots, kneel, take some more shots here, and he's doing the same thing with that unit. And see, by the time they're going to be close to us and in position to fire, he's already going to be out of there completely. Again, my bows supporting him while he retreats to kind of decrease his casualties. He does take a lot of men, he does lose a lot of men, but this is also causing a lot of casualties to our opponent's front lines and causing some atrocious damage. You can see here units extremely depleted at their front line. Now there's a run towards my line. I'm going to line my own matchlock units up, and they're going to be shooting up this Katana Samurai unit as it tries to go up. And you can see brought them down, 20 men each. Now this unit their morale is starting to go down, and they are down in terms of numbers. And now I'm going to send my warrior nuns here, and you can see I'm still sort of kiting away from the 7 samurai main force. Now I'm going to turn around, take that charge. I'm also sending in warrior nuns here in the middle to take advantage of that situation. Alright guys, sorry about that. I had to bring the replay back a little bit because I don't know why it was acting up kind of weird. I failed to mention earlier that Nigzor actually stationed his archers here on this hill, which meant that they got a little bit of extra support. That's where all his archers were sitting at. And there he goes again, Fraps. I don't know what's up with this battle. Maybe it's all the smoke effects that causing the PC to slow down or something. I don't really know what's happening. Alright guys, from here on I'm going to continue with screenshots because the replay is sort of broken and I can't really continue recording it. It keeps on cutting up. I think the file is kind of corrupt or anything. Because as you can see on our right flank, the 7 samurai infantry is beginning to engage. I am pulling my warrior nuns back to hopefully wait for my matchlocks to get one more volley off, but I realized that's not going to happen, so I turn around and charge right into their faces. Now, due to the fact that these guys are very experienced units, I'm only going to really be able to hold them and give Nixor some time to complete and finish off the army on the left, which was the matchlock remnants, and then he'll be able to come support me. You can see here that I charged my general into that katana unit from the side to just try to do a little bit more damage, and you can see that they still have a lot of their matchlocks left, with Nigazor's archers there at the left of the screen shooting into their sides, and he's still actually continuing to kite with their forces. Over here they're still attacking, and you're going to see that this unit of Naginata Warrior Monk, I did War Cry, and I placed them in guard mode to hopefully make them hold as many men as possible. You can see that they're also fighting heavily upgraded Naginata Warrior Monks, whereas Nigazor's troops are stationed right here on the trees, in the trees, and shooting up those matchlocks. And you can see that he's also sent some of his infantry in the middle of that line. You can see here that now my units have been are under the effect of War Cry, and they're actually starting to lose decisively. The general actually of Katsumoto attempts to charge at the back of my units, but I am going to bring Matsuda Kage in here and activate stand and fight. That's not really going to do much, so as my units start to rout, I'm going to line up my matchlocks, start to take some shots, and put him on his horses to try to get them out of there. You can see that my matchlocks are still shooting here. They were shooting throughout the battle into this little boggy mess. Unfortunately, all my infantry did rout, but they did weaken the Katsumoto's force quite a bit. And now this is going to allow the matchlocks of Nigazor to keep on shooting. You can see that they have activated rapid fire and increased range. So there they are, taking shots into those units that you just saw earlier. Matsuda Kagemaru is still alive, fortunately. He didn't really get killed in this battle, and you can see that this was indeed a very, very bloody battle between us and the Seven Samurai clan. And there he is, standing there in his glory. And you can see that these are the final shots, final arrows being shot towards the fleeing enemies. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little weird photo and then video then photo commentary. I do apologize that I can't record the footage towards the end, but I hope you guys got the gist of it there. Unfortunately, that was the most epic part, but I don't know what perhaps is happening with it. I tried it several times, it didn't work. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that commentary. Remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.